everybody, I'm back. Sorry, it's been a little bit of time since I've done a review. You know, holidays and stuff. I went to California for Thanksgiving. Got to see my brothers and my sister. I haven't seen my sister in, man, almost 10 years, I think. It's been a long time. And my brothers, I haven't seen them for a couple years. I got to see my mom. You know, I think the last time I saw my sister was probably at our dad's funeral, which was about 10 years ago. So it's been a long time. So it was a lot of fun. We went to the Jelly Belly factory there in Fairfield, California, which was very, very cool. Anyway, just a good time. And so I took a week or so off on the reviews, and I'm back, I think. You know, Christmas is coming up in a couple weeks, so who knows if I'm going to do any more in the near future. But I will tell you this. Coming up, I've got enough books read now for another book week. So hopefully by the end of the year, I'll do another book week. Anyway, enough of that. We're on to Stretcher today by Jay Sankey, the Uncanny Collection featuring Stretcher plus 15 killer bonus routines. Let me just go on record as saying that Jay and I have been friends for about the same amount of time since I've seen my sister. In fact, I met Jay a few days before my dad passed away. That was a weird week. That was the week we filmed Underground Jam together, and then the day I came home, the next day my dad passed away. Very strange. So I've known Jay for a really long time, and I bring that up because we're very close friends. You know, I've been to his house a few times and got to hang out with him and his wife and his kids, and we're in touch with each other on a very regular basis. So you might think my reviews will be biased, and maybe they are. You know, I really try not to be biased, and I have slammed some people that are friends of mine, their products anyway, and so, but Sankey stuff, as generally speaking, is just so darn good that it's hard to find one that I just think is a terrible product. I don't think I've ever come across one that I felt that way about it. This is no exception. This is, in fact, I typically don't give Jay's products a 5-star rating because I feel like if everything I do of his is 5-star, you know, maybe I am being biased and people are just going to go, oh, there's Jeff again giving Jay a 5-star product. And so typically, even if I feel it's 5 stars, I often don't give it 4.5 stars just because I'm really trying to balance the fact that he is a friend of mine. And so anyway, I don't care though. I'm giving this 5 stars. This is a completely solid product. It's absolutely incredible. You get the whole idea is it's a collection of tricks that you can do with soda cans, or you can use beer cans. Anything that's got the little pop top kind of can on it. I imagine you could probably use like cans of V8 and you know, the little teeny short cans of pineapple juice and stuff like that. I imagine you could use those as long as you got a pull tab on them. And some of the effects, I should say, wouldn't necessarily work with the smaller cans. It depends on the effect. But you get the idea. Soda cans, beer cans, which are everywhere. You can do all the stuff in here with those kinds of cans. You also get with this 2 gimmicks, and I think I'm okay to just show you the gimmicks because you'll see it if you watch the trailer anyway, I think. But they're wrapped up. Let me just make sure I get it out here. Yeah, it's stuck in the wrapper. I'm not going to take it out. I don't need to open it to know if it's good quality because I can feel it through the thing. But what you get here is this is the final product after you've taken a soda tab and you've stretched it, and you end up with this. So you end up with this kind of image at the end. And again, I take the plastic off. But that's the final image. And the cool thing about that is there are handlings taught on the DVD where when you're done and it's stretched, you can then go and put it in your hand, and I'm just going to drop it on the table there, but you put it in your hand, and then this hand's empty, and you open up, and it's back to a small, regular-sized soda tab. These are a little, you can see they're a little flexible there, but they're very solid, and they're small and lightweight. You can just keep one in your wallet, and then if there's a soda can laying around, you can do this effect. All the other effects don't require this gimmick. There's just the one effect called Stretcher, which is in the preview, that does require that gimmick. Other than that, you have a range of effects that some use some gimmicks, some don't. Some use the can itself, some just use the tab, some use both. Some use other objects like a straw or a string or a coin. There's a card transport where a card ends up inside a sealed can. There's tons and tons of stuff. And so the idea here is it's a collection of a bunch of stuff you can do with cans. I think I did mention that a second ago, but the reason I keep bringing that up is this isn't like, oh, here's 16 tricks I'm going to put in my next show. No, it's go through this and find the stuff that speaks to you because everybody's going to have a different thing that speaks to them. And then take a few of those and put them in, either put them into your show or put them in your, quote, back pocket, your tool belt, and have them ready for when you're in a casual environment and there's a soda can laying on the ground. Or have them ready for when you're doing a house party and people are drinking and there's cans around. It's that kind of stuff. And some of the stuff is just can be done so casually that it really does take people off guard and really kind of flips them out. Other stuff takes a little bit more setup. Some require you to make a little simple gimmick. But there's nothing on here that the method is unworkable or not doable for any range. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that any level magician can get. Some of it's going to take more practice than others, but still solid stuff. There's 15. I printed out the list of all the effects on here just because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything that I felt was important. There's, spaced out. This is not a soda can, but on top, the soda can's open. You drag the hole down the can and move, and now the hole is there, and the top is sealed. I mean, that's kind of stuff. And it's freaky. You can hand the thing out when you're done. It's examinable. There's things like that on there. There's the classic, things like, salt shaker through the table, right? So Jay does soda can through the table using the same basic method, and you think, well, what's the big deal? Use the soda can instead. But it is a big deal because he changed a couple of things that make it, the effects different and better in my opinion, but again, it's not all about the effect here. It's more about how effective is the method and is his take on it better or different and worthy of publishing, and it certainly is. So I'm not going to tell you all the details of what you get, but I will tell you this. On his table salt shaker through the table thing with the soda can, he completely justifies the presentation and the handling of it. That's one big thing. And there's another little surprise, and I'm not going to tell you, that also happens with that effect. There's an old effect where you take a coin, you have 4 coins, a penny, nickel, dime, and quarter, and you leave the room and somebody puts one underneath a coffee mug, and you come back in the room and you're able to tell which coin is under the coffee mug, and you can repeat it over and over and over again. That kind of stuff's a great party game. If you're ever familiar with or heard of the game Black Magic, and if you don't know it, I'm not going to tip it here because it's great. It's not a trick. It's just a fun party game, and there's always a couple people at the party that know how it works, and you can use them to do it, and it's a cool party game. This coin thing is that kind of thing. It's more of a party game almost. It's still a magic trick. But rather than the coffee mug, Jay uses a soda can. And again, you think, well, what's the big deal? You replace it with a soda can. Trust me, it's so much more organic, so much more clean, and it's just a better way to do it. So then there's stuff like Climber, which the first time I saw that, it completely fooled me. And the effect is a straw that you put in your soda, and you cap off the top with your finger to get some soda in the straw, and you shake the straw, and the soda moves up the straw. It's killer. It's simple. It requires a simple little gimmick that you got to make. There's all kinds of stuff. One of my favorites on there that I thought was very clever, he has an old effect where he takes a straw and folds the straw in half, and you thread a borrowed finger ring onto it, and then you've got it sort of linked onto the straw. Then he plucks it off and puts it right back on. It's very visual. Well, he's now came to the conclusion, which rightfully so, that the best thing to thread onto a straw is a soda tab, which makes sense. You drink soda with a straw, and you take the little tab off the can and link it onto the straw, and you do the exact same effect, and he walks you through all the handling of that. I can go on and on. There's 15 effects on here besides stretchers, so a total of 16. There's penetrations, there's refilling a can of soda, there's transpositions. Some stuff requires you to carry some flash paper maybe. Other stuff you just don't have to have anything on you. You just get the can and go. So tons and tons of great material with good methods, and that's the key there. Because you can watch the trailer and look and think, I don't like that trick. I would never do that. I wouldn't put that in my repertoire. Or you might watch and think, yeah, I love all those, and I would put them all in my repertoire. That's a personal decision between you and the gods of magic and nobody else. I can't tell you what to do there. What I can tell you is if you liked anything in the trailer, every single one of those, the methods are solid. They're very doable. You will require more practice on some than on others, but absolutely solid stuff, guys. So, what else is there to say about it? Not a whole lot. Final verdict, 5 stars, Stone status of capital G, capital E, capital M. It's $40. You get the 2 gimmicks. It's 127 minutes. It's 2 hours and 7 minutes of J. And if you're a J fan like me, that's awesome. But this is typical J stuff. You know, it's a whole bunch of great ideas, whole bunch of methods for, you know, multiple ideas on how to perform the same effect, multiple different effects, stuff that's organic, easy to do, and that's within the reach of most skill levels. I'd say all skill levels. And it doesn't. There's nothing in here that I would consider advanced. I'd say it's basic to intermediate. And so there's some simple, super great stuff in here that's very visual and very powerful with good, solid, workable methods. Final verdict, 5 stars. Stone status gem. All capitals on the gem there. And last, the most important moment, random iTunes song of the moment today is, oh, I love this song. Her Name is Alice by Shinedown. Very, very cool.
If I had a world of my own, everything would be.
This kind of music is the epitome of what I like about rock. Good rock music. Stuff that starts slow, even with something, you know, beautiful like piano. The slow voice starting here. And then it builds. Think of a song like Stairway to Heaven or Hotel California. This one has that same kind of feel where it slowly builds and gets harder and more awesome and harder and more awesome. Anyway, I'll put a link to that in the description below. Thanks for watching this 11-ish minute video, guys. My last few videos, you might remember that I was trying to change my sign off from peace out, and it was just awkward. So you know what? I'm going to roll with it until I come up with something better. So sorry for being so generic and vanilla, but thanks for watching. Peace and out.